So my name is Mikko, and before I start my presentation, I want to spend just a few minutes by talking about sex. I saw your faces, and like half of you were like, ew, half of you were like, yeah, let's talk about sex, baby. So I knew who of you will answer to the job application where there's sex. Half of you say male or female, and half of you say yes. So first of all, I want to apologize if I'm a little bit scruffy looking and have a little bit Darth Vader in my voice, because I just had a severe near-death experience. I had a man flu last weekend. I spent like 2 days. I had literally 1 Celsius over my regular body temperature of fever. But it's been a learning experience. I appreciate health and life more after this one. And second, every man in the audience, raise your hand if you think women are wonderful. Everybody else raised their hand except SK Ready, because he thinks it's a trick question for his wife. Today is an International Women's Day, and I think I can speak for all of the men in the audience that we think all of you women are wonderful, and we love you. All the women I know, Nana, Riikka, and everybody else, you're the reason we exist. Literally. Yeah, that was my point. So, I work for ATEA, and I work basically in our service sales and our research development. I discuss with our customers, C-level executives, what they want to do with their business and their basic ICT digitalization, and I bring that message to our R&D and develop our new services. I love everything about the future, all the new technology. I'm a little bit of a geek myself, and when I don't do technology, I travel around the world and scuba dive. Here are 2 totally irrelevant pictures of me traveling and scuba diving. But what am I going to talk to you about is, first I'm going to tell you a little bit what is ATEA, so you know the context, what I'm talking about. And then I'm gonna give you a case example, a story of one of our AI journeys. We're doing a lot of different things in AI. We're doing a lot of things SK was talking about, which focus more on the operational excellence. But this story I'm going to talk to you about is about the customer service. It would be a boring thing to call it a chatbot, because I think it's a little bit more, and it's about what you can do with chats, AI, in your journey of customer experience. How do I feel about customer experience, and what's AI got to do with it? So first of all, ATEA, our mission of the company is to build the future with IT. What we actually do is we sell hardware. There's a good chance if you use a laptop for your work, or your company has a wireless network or data center somewhere, that some of the hardware has come through us. If you use Office 365 or Windows servers anywhere in your company, there's a good chance that some of those licenses have come through us. And what I represent is our services, where we provide basic ICT stuff for our users. So in Finnish we call this, we do ATK. We're quite big company in this region. We're the largest in the Nordic region, second largest in Europe. We have 6,900 employees working around the Nordics and Baltics. We turn over about 31.2 billion Nordic kroner in revenue, which is 3.2-ish euros, a little bit over. We work with our partners, where this presentation is mostly about IBM, but we sell all the hardware of this and all the services of our strategic partners. And our service offering, so now we can forget about the laptops and hardware, software and stuff. But our service offering has a vision to provide our customer with a smart digital workplace. That means that you get the best tools you need to be as productive as possible to do your job. It means you have that shiny new MacBook. It means that you have your Google or Microsoft productivity software installed. It means that your data center is working. It means that you have a network. All that stuff. You know, the basic outsourced ICT for the company's own employees, what they need in there. Unfortunately, while providing these services, we kind of sucked some years ago. We didn't suck much more than every other company in this region sucks, because let's be honest, who really thinks that their company's service desk is awesome? It's great. I know you're lying. I've been talking with you about this. So what we and all the other companies in this business do, we know ITIL framework and stuff like that. We focus on the best process ever made. We spend days and nights in the ivory towers writing and drawing how we should provide these services. And meanwhile, something pretty important is forgotten. Anybody guess what it is? Customer, especially the end user. The thing is that most often these companies, like my company and our customers, it's a dialogue between senior management of the customer company. There's a CIO or IT director or somebody like that, and then there's a service manager of IT company, and then they're having service level agreements in there that if your end user has a problem, then we have 10.2 hours to solve it. And then we solve it in 9.7 hours. The service manager and the CIO fist bump each other. Well done. It's great. Our service is working exactly like we want it to. But think about this one. You come from the vacation. You have forgotten your password. You start your first day. You really need to send an important email. You need to reset your password. And then you're waiting 10 hours to do that. You can't send it on your first day. Are you happy? You're not a happy customer. The end user experience is horrible in that one. So smart digital workplace that we're trying to provide, like I think almost every other business, is all about the customer experience. And when trying to start to improve the customer experience, we need to understand what is changing, because some years ago it was okay to provide that one. What the big change is the customerization. We see, I could show you the slides that probably all of you have seen before, that the world's largest, hotel company doesn't have any hotels and blah, blah, blah. We don't want to see that one, but the expectations are changing in the business-to-business landscape. People just cannot understand anymore why they can book their hotel in a minute, order a pizza in a minute, but then they can't reset their friggin' password in a minute. Why? It doesn't make sense anymore in this world where everything else is working but the business-to-business services are not. And of course it would be great to provide these services like we did it before, just put more people on the line. That's what the Indian outsourcing company did. They put 100,000 people to provide these services, and I don't think the experience got any better from that one. So what I always thought was the solution for this was Mr. Steve once in an interview in 1997, quite a long time ago, said that you have to start from customer experience and work your way back towards the technology. So don't just start building AI for something, but start from the customer experience in this context and try to understand what's the problem you're solving, and then try to think about what's the best possible solution for that one. That's what we did here. And when we were talking about these IT problems and how we focus on solving them, what we should do about them, I thought that it's all about the communication. Most of the problems don't get reported at all, and when they get reported, the customer is already so angry that he wants everything to be done immediately. I want it all, I want it now. And when we started to focus on this problem at the end of the road, from the customer experience to technology, there was a light at the end of the rainbow, which was AI. We started developing with Digitalist Group on IBM platform a solution for this problem. This didn't start as an AI project. First thing we wanted to do is that some years ago we started developing a lot of self-service capabilities in our service offering, so that when you wanted to reset the password, we had a website to do that, or a mobile application to do that. Then we found out several different things you want to do. You want to establish a work group for Office 365 or Google. You wanted to create a mailing list. You wanted to install an application, delete an application, purchase an application, get some kind of a reboot your computer or stuff like that. And it got so complex that the user experience again went horrible because you had like 15 different kind of menus where you had to toggle through to do this. And first thing we wanted to do was to create another application to gather all of these up. And I was leading that project, and when we were creating few prototypes, we actually saw that it didn't get any better. It was just another application blotted with all kinds of nonsense where nobody could really find what they were looking for. And then about last spring, I was in an IBM event actually, where somebody of the keynote speakers said that we are now seeing Siri and we have seen OK Google and stuff like that, and the best user interfaces of the future are user interfaces of natural language, where you provide the choices the user needs at that moment when they need it, not all the choices they might need. And there is really just one way to provide that kind of user experience, and that's an AI. So we started with a chatbot, but the thing we wanted to build was not a chatbot, but it's actually a user interface for our self-service capabilities. It works as an API trigger where you can find out what the customer wants. We have these pre-selected things you can ask for from the chatbot, or you can just start talking to it. And if it recognizes what you want to do, if it recognizes that you want to reset your password, it can instantly fire an API command to our already existing self-service capabilities and reset the password. Or if the system doesn't understand what you want to do, it can connect you to the service desk, which is actually pretty cool by itself to be able to chat to your service desk. And so you don't have to wait for the tickets on your email or try to phone them and try to understand what they want to say. We built this as agile as it gets. We co-created this from first I spent a few months just trying to think about what am I trying to do, but when we decided a rough framework of what we're trying to do, we just spent some weeks, I think it was 7 weeks or 8 weeks or something like that, what we spent. First we had design sprints with Digitalist Group, trying to focus on what we're going to do. We chose the platform, which was IBM, and we coded the thing. And we had a working minimum viable product in a few weeks after we decided to do this. So how did this go? What did happen when we did this? First of all, it was an MVP, it was an agile project, it was co-creation, we learned. That was our number one objective, to learn what should happen with this. First of all, we learned that the way we were thinking about providing this service through an application or a website, that was our first intuitive decision. It was a wrong one. If you want to provide a chatbot service for a kind of service that your customer use in once a year or once a 5 years, then it's a very good decision to put that on your specific web page where the customer is already looking for that service. If your service you want to provide to your customer is their daily driver, then it makes sense to make that as an application. But we're neither of those, we're in between. This is being used once a week or between 1 to 2 months per end user. So what they wanted, after we gave them the service to drive it, we were monitoring how they behave in it and asking them questions while they were using it. They wanted it to exist in their existing channels. They wanted it in their own WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook Messenger, Slack, Teams, Skype. So that's our next thing to develop, to bring it to them. So it's already, or SMS or whatever. We need to add value. It's a good way to start your journey to just build a chatbot, any chatbot, but you're probably not going to get a lot of users. If you want to bring a chatbot to answer to your customers' questions with links to your knowledge base, then I think it's quite rubbish, because they can just use search engine. That's what they're for. They have their SharePoint search engine and they have Google. Why would they want to spend time typing questions to some stupid chatbot just to get link to another article? No. If you can make the chatbot to answer the exact question with content of the article, then it adds value. Or if you can start some kind of a workflow with the chatbot, then it adds value. But if it's just a replacement of a search engine, then it's rubbish. We need to be fast. Our chatbot was designed to connect you with the service desk if the chatbot cannot answer your question. And we found out that it takes less than 30 seconds for the customer to disappear after the transition if our service desk doesn't answer. So if you want to add value with giving the human connection as well, you need to make sure that the service providers in the backline can be fast to answer the customer questions. We lost quite many because we took like 40 seconds to answer them, and that was too much. AI needs to be really, really great, and it needs to be focused on your business or what you're trying to do with them, or it needs to be assisted. We found out that when we were trying to provide service with solely the AI, where we didn't have enough information to teach it, it wasn't good enough and the customers didn't really want to use it at that point. So we need to assist it with humans. What we're going to do next is we're going to shift a little bit back and make the chat human first and AI assisted, so that the human will always be answering the customer in their questions and providing them, but the AI will be all the time providing suggestions on how you should answer. And then the human can either just click yes, okay, give that answer, or they can modify the answer or say that that is not a correct answer at all, which works as a great learner for the artificial intelligence on the background. After interviewing all the customers in the pilot, everybody, and many other customers where we were just talking about the idea, they love it, they want it. All the customers just basically giving me their wallet and asking where can I buy this from immediately. But the UX needs a lot of work. It needs to be great to use, so the customer experience comes first, and then we build the technology back to it. And we really got to do this. That was our main learning point, that we got to continue developing this, and this is the way we're going to outrun most of our competitors in this field unless they go past us. So, my key takeaways from my customer experience project is that we found out that this is what the market is looking for. You cannot afford not to start. If you're here, you're probably thinking about starting or have started already. if you're thinking about it, just do it. Start now. Start small, think big. These are just the basic buzzwords of all the software development, but I still like them. You know, be agile. I love the book by Eric Ries, Lean Startup, which has a great stuff about how you should measure of where your product should be going. Start small, think big, but be ready to change it. If we would have built the end product the way we thought it would be 6 months ago, it would again be rubbish. Use existing stuff. Don't build your own AI. Well, of course you can, but it's quite expensive. We chose the IBM Watson, which has been great so far. Of course, there are other options as well. And probably there was a question before that, what if you want to in-house it? But I think because AI is not our core business and software development isn't either, so we chose a Digitalist Group as our partner, and I have been happy with them. So, my name is Mikko. Ask me anything.
Can we talk more about the sex?
Yes, male or female.
Seriously, I think it was great. Thank you.
The sex. Yeah, likewise. We both enjoyed it.
Hi, my name is Petri. I come from Pfizer. So
Hi.
what happened to the 10-hour SLA? Did you manage to improve it, or?
Yes, actually the whole point of the service with the pilot customer was that our value proposal was that if you choose to use this channel, we will do everything you ask for immediately. Of course, it might start some kind of a workflow. If you report from a network problem, then we might need more work. But if it's an end user problem at some point, we will work through it immediately and do not stop until it's solved. And that's how we got the users to use the service, and they really did dig it. So we solved our SLAs mostly in minutes.
So it became a main selling point for you
Yeah.
towards your customers. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.